Hey guys, welcome to part 5 of What If Tanjiro Was Sent to the Past. If you are watching this at the time of upload, it is nearly Christmas, so I would like to wish you a Merry Christmas. Last time we left off after Tanjiro defeating all the upper moons simultaneously and finally beheading Nakime. With that out the way, let's begin. Despite winning the battle, as Nakime disintegrated into nothingness, the aftermath of her death left the Infinity Fortress in turmoil. With her demise, her control over the structure of the castle vanished, causing it to crumble and collapse. The once sturdy walls now quivered and shook, threatening to bury Tanjiro beneath the rubble. Realizing the impending danger, Tanjiro urgently looked for an escape route. He sprinted through the crumbling fortress, navigating through falling debris and avoiding collapsing corridors. The deafening noise of destruction echoed around him as he made his way to safety. With the Infinity Fortress now a heap of ruins behind him, Tanjiro searched the surroundings now outside, gasping for breath. His battle with the upper moons had been fierce. However, he knew that his mission was far from over. His ultimate goal was to confront Muzan, the progenitor of all demons, and end his reign of terror. Gathering his strength and determination, Tanjiro set out on his final journey alone. His path led him to a snowy forest. As the dust settled, he recognized the location. It was the same forest near the village where he used to sell charcoal. However, despite the location's familiarity, he sensed the malevolent presence of Muzan. The anticipation and tension filled the air as he prepared to face the ultimate challenge. Tanjiro steeled his resolve, knowing that the battle ahead would be the most dangerous and significant of his life. He had grown as a demon slayer, mastering the sun breathing and facing formidable adversaries, but the stakes were higher than ever before. Drawing upon the memories of his family and mentors, Tanjiro found strength in their teachings and the bond they shared. The memory of his father's dance of the fire god, combined with his sun breathing, filled him with the resolve to confront Muzan and protect those he loved. Tanjiro moved through the snowy forest, following the trail of Muzan's aura. The chilling presence drew him closer to the heart of the forest, where he knew the demon would be running, attempting to escape from the powerful aura of Yoritichi that he sensed in Tanjiro. As he approached the heart of the forest, Tanjiro could sense the fear and desperation emanating from Muzan. The ancient demon had been the source of countless tragedies, and now he was on the run from a demon slayer who held the essence of the legendary sun breathing within him. Tanjiro's heart pounded in his chest, but he refused to falter. He drew strength from the memories of his family and friends, and the teachings of his mentors. The warmth of those memories contrasted with the cold of the snowy forest, fueling his determination to face Muzan. With each step, Tanjiro's resolve grew stronger. The snowy forest around him became a battleground, and he knew that this was the ultimate test of his strength and determination as a demon slayer. The fate of humanity rested on his shoulders. And he was prepared to give everything he had to protect the ones he loved and bring an end to the reign of terror that Muzan had inflicted upon the world. As he moved through the dense trees and falling snow, Tanjiro's heart surged with determination. He was ready to confront Muzan, knowing that the battle ahead would be the most dangerous and significant of his life. With the power of the sun breathing and the essence of Yoritichi within him, Tanjiro steeled himself for the final confrontation with the progenitor of all demons, a confrontation that would change the course of history for both demonkind and humanity. Finally, he stood before Muzan, the progenitor of all demons, the source of evil that had caused so much suffering. The atmosphere was charged with tension as Tanjiro locked eyes with the ancient demon. Tanjiro's heart pounded with a mix of fear and determination as he activated his 13th form of sun breathing, combining and performing all 12 previous forms in an endless circle. The air around him crackled with the intensity of the sun breathing's scorching flames, and the snowy ground beneath his feet began to melt. Muzan, while initially taken aback by Tanjiro's power, quickly regained his composure. The demon's red eyes glinted with a mixture of curiosity and disdain as he sized up his opponent. "You're just a mere human," Muzan sneered, his voice dripping with arrogance. "What makes you think you can stand a chance against me?" Tanjiro gritted his teeth, refusing to be intimidated. With a swift motion, he lunged forward, his blade gleaming with fiery energy. The clash of sun breathing against Muzan's demonic power created a shockwave that echoed through the forest. Their battle was fierce and unrelenting. Tanjiro's speed and agility, honed through years of training and combat, allowed him to keep up with Muzan's blindingly fast attacks. Each strike from his 13th form sun breathing carried the weight of his family's memories and the desire to protect humanity. Muzan, on the other hand, relied on his ancient and unmatched strength. His attacks were brutal and merciless, capable of tearing through mountains and forests. Tanjiro knew he had to stay focused and find an opening to land a decisive blow. The snowy forest became a battleground as the two powerful beings clashed. Trees were uprooted, and the ground quaked under the force of their attacks. Despite being stronger than ever before and having an even brighter red sword, Tanjiro was still not as strong as this Muzan and couldn't keep up with the rate of regeneration. Since Muzan hadn't absorbed kilograms of poison from Tameo this time round. Because of this, Muzan managed to land multiple shallow cuts on Tanjiro, injecting some of his cells into Tanjiro's body every time, starting to destroy Tanjiro's cells from the inside. Despite this, Tanjiro's determination never wavered, and he refused to back down even in the face of overwhelming power. As the battle raged on, Tanjiro began to feel the strain of fighting Muzan, a demon with seemingly infinite stamina and regenerative abilities. Yet, he drew strength from his friends, his family, and the memories of his first life. Now refocused, Tanjiro pulled a vial from his pocket which Tameo had prepared for him to counter Muzan's poisonous cells, stabbing it into his arm, regaining all of his strength back, allowing him to continue to fight. Muzan then noticed that Tanjiro was starting to speed up and his attacks were starting to hit less frequently. However, he would suddenly realize that Tanjiro wasn't just getting faster, he was also getting slower, wondering why his attacks were getting slower. Muzan would check his memories throughout the fight. Realizing that at the start of the fight Tanjiro had distracted him in the shock of recognizing Muzan and had tossed multiple kunais doused in a poison developed by Muzan which had started to break down his cells and age him rapidly. Muzan would then question why it was acting so fast at such a low dosage since he had only had it in his system for around 1 hour and 15 minutes. He would then realize that he missed something looking at Tanjiro's blade to see that it is coated in poison and he kept switching his sword to recoat it. Enraged, Muzan would unleash a massive shockwave which would stun Tanjiro since he only had a few seconds to react. However, he had already experienced the attack before in the past, so knew that his Nishirin blade could counter the Blood Demon Art's paralysis, stabbing himself in the chest, making sure to miss anything vital and only stab a vein. Taking the opportunity, Muzan would attempt to split Tanjiro in half, however Tanjiro would roll to the side in time, getting back up and continuing the 13th form. Targeting Muzan's 7 hearts and 5 brains using the transparent world. Not knowing how long was left until sunrise, Tanjiro would look to the sky, estimating that there was still an hour until sunrise, that he had to keep this up. Deciding instead to focus on making it to sunrise and instead on surviving another second. After another 45 minutes, both Muzan and Tanjiro were starting to slow down, however Tanjiro did not give up and continued fighting, however Muzan had other plans, and attempted to run away. Realizing how close the sun was, Tanjiro would scream for Muzan not to run away, calling him a coward and a monster lacking a shred of honor, which angered Muzan to the point his teeth started to grind together as he continued to run deeper into the forest towards the village. However, he is suddenly stopped by multiple swords and kunais being thrown at him, stabbing into his back. Scared, Muzan would try dividing his cells to split like he did against Yoritichi to escape, however it wouldn't work and instead he would start to spit out blood. Taking the opportunity, Tanjiro would ignore his lack of oxygen, taking in a deep breath, pushing past his physical limits with a sudden surge of determination. Tanjiro gathered the last of his strength and unleashed a final, devastating attack, getting stabbed through the side in the process. The power of the 13th form sun breathing reached its peak, and the forest was engulfed in a blinding explosion of fire and light. When the smoke cleared, Tanjiro stood, panting and exhausted, but triumphant. Muzan lay defeated, weakened and unable to regenerate from the fierce attack. The snowy forest fell into a solemn silence, broken only by the sound of Tanjiro's laboured breaths, as the sun began to rise, turning Muzan into ashes which blended in with the snow. As Tanjiro looked upon the fallen demon, he knew that this victory came at a great cost. The battle had taken its toll on his body and spirit, and he felt the weight of the countless lives lost to Muzan's cruelty. But he also knew that he had fulfilled his duty as a demon slayer. He had protected humanity and avenged the suffering of those who fell victim to demons. With a mixture of relief and sadness, Tanjiro turned away from Muzan's defeated form, ready to return to his friends and begin the healing process. The snowy forest bore witness to the epic clash between reborn Tanjiro, the master of the 13th form sun-breathing, and the formidable, mildly drugged Muzan, king of demons. As the adrenaline levels in Tanjiro's body returned to normal, Tanjiro's legs gave in and he could no longer move his body. His eyes felt extremely heavy as he started to drift off into unconsciousness. Tanjiro's last thoughts were of his family and friends. Apologizing for not being able to return to them since he would probably die from blood loss all alone and would be found in spring when the snow melts. After 15 minutes the rest of the Hashira and Demon Slayer Corps arrived, with everyone rushing to Tanjiro's side. Upon realizing the condition Tanjiro was in, Shinobu would check Tanjiro's vitals to find a weak pulse and faint heartbeat. With there being no time to spare, Shinobu would begin emergency surgery on Tanjiro to close the wounds, stating that he is lucky to still be alive. Noting that the only reason he is alive is a mix of breathing techniques and the cold weather freezing his blood, creating a clot preventing further blood loss. While Shinobu was patching Tanjiro up, the Kikuchi performed CPR on Tanjiro to help him to perform recovery breathing techniques and revive his heart. After getting Tanjiro into a stable condition, Tanjiro is moved to the butterfly estate where he fell into a deep coma. After 3 months, Tanjiro finally opened his eyes, still feeling tired and barely unable to move his limbs. Tanjiro would then smell a familiar sweet flower-like smell nearby, turning his head to see Kaneo sleeping by his side. Shocked, Tanjiro would blush profusely and suddenly jolt his body, waking up Kaneo, feeling a sense of déjà vu, remembering his recovery after the fight against Upper Moon 2. Without letting Tanjiro even think, Kaneo would pull Tanjiro into a deep hug, crying that she didn't think he was going to wake up since he was asleep for 3 months. Shocked, Tanjiro would look outside to realize the seasons had changed, so he really was asleep for so long. Due to the sudden noise, everyone rushed to Tanjiro's room, realizing that Tanjiro had finally woken up. Just like Kaneo, everyone embraced Tanjiro in a tight hug, not even realizing that he had fallen asleep again. After 3 more days, Tanjiro would wake up again and apologize for scaring them all again. After being given time to catch up with his friends and family, Tanjiro would be informed that there will be a Hashira meeting soon, so he should prepare. After the master arrived, the Hashira meeting would begin. The final Hashira meeting was filled with a mixture of awe, respect, and gratitude. As the Hashira gathered in the serene hall, they couldn't help but marvel at the young demon slayer standing before them, the 13-year-old Tanjiro Kamado, who had accomplished what seemed impossible for any warrior, let alone someone so young. Kagaya Yubaya Shiki, the master of the Demon Slayer Corps, spoke first, his voice gentle and filled with pride. We are gathered here today to honor Tanjiro Kamado, the strongest Hashira, who has accomplished what no one else has ever achieved in the history of our corps. The other Hashira applauded, a few of them exchanging glances of disbelief and admiration. Shinobu Koko, with a gentle smile, stepped forward and addressed Tanjiro. You have shown extraordinary bravery and skill, Tanjiro. To take on the Upper Moons and Muzan Kibuzuyi alone at such a young age is a feat beyond words. Tanjiro bowed humbly, his eyes reflecting gratitude and humility. Thank you, Hashira. I couldn't have done it without the support and teachings of my friends and mentors. Jayuta Mioka, with his stoic demeanor, approached Tanjiro and placed a hand on his shoulder. You have proven yourself to be a true Hashira. Your strength and determination are an inspiration to all of us. Kani Koko, with tears in her eyes, added, You have brought honor to the memory to all the fallen demon slayers. Your actions will be remembered in the annals of history. Makomo and Sabito, with their usual playful banter, expressed their admiration for Tanjiro's accomplishments. They had known him since their early days of training, and to see him reach such heights filled them with pride and joy. With the demons vanquished, Kigaya Yubaya declared that the Demon Slayer Corps would be disbanded. The organization had fulfilled its purpose, and now it was time for its members to return to their normal lives. The Yubaya family would then bow, thanking the Demon Slayers for their immense sacrifices and dedication to reaching their goal to kill Muzan. Shocked Tanjiro would tell them to rise, as they should be thanking them, not the other way round, since without the support and guidance of the Yubaya family, none of this would have been possible. The former Hashira, including Tanjiro Kamado, who had accomplished the impossible, were honored for their extraordinary service and heroism. They were acknowledged as legendary figures in the history of the Demon Slayer Corps and were given the utmost respect by their comrades and the world at large. As the Demon Slayer Corps disbanded, the members returned to their homes and families, forever changed by their experiences. Many became teachers, mentors, and protectors, passing on their knowledge and skills to future generations. Others took on various roles, contributing to society in different ways. Although the Demon Slayer Corps no longer existed as a formal organization, the legacy of its members lived on. The memory of their battles, sacrifices, and triumphs against the demons would be forever etched in history. Their stories would inspire generations to come, reminding humanity of the importance of courage, unity, and determination in the face of unimaginable challenges. The world was finally free from the fear of demons, and peace reigned. With the threat of Muzan and his kind eradicated, humanity could move forward, rebuilding and healing from the scars left by the long and bitter struggle. The legacy of the Demon Slayer Corps would be remembered not just for their heroics in battle but for their indomitable spirit, the bonds they formed with one another, and the hope they brought to a world once plagued by darkness. Though the Demon Slayer Corps may have disbanded, its impact on history and the hearts of the people would be eternal.